I know you guys are ready. We are definitely ready for some Season 11 action for the Cabal vs. Champions Cup playoffs, where the first place wins 500 euros, second place 250 euros, third and fourth gets 100 euros, all brought to you by Cyanide, Focus Home Entertainment. And you guys out there, we are ready for some Underworld versus Vampire action. Let's get straight into it. And oh, I'm not looking at the score. I'm not looking at the score. I'm not looking at the score. I'm gonna just wait and see what is going to transpire between these guys by themselves. All right. Let's see in the brackets. Who did I pick here? Underworld or Vampire? I think I chose the Underworld team. Yes. In my second stupor, I did say that I like the Underworld team. And that's what we're going to be sticking with here. And the Underworld team playing against the Vampire is really nice. Thank you for that follow, Mr. Speaker MCL. Coached by Elyod. If only they could talk. Ooh, you're gonna see a Goblin Chainsaw and a Bombardier for the Underworld team. I love it. Facing off against Sifernero's Vampire team. Just a nibble. Just a nibble. And the coin flip's underway. Vampires versus Underworld. We can't wait for this very oddball matchup. And this is the nice thing here with the random matchups, right? I mean, if we had to go with the rankings and things like that, then you would probably never see tier 3 teams taking on other tier 3 teams, and tier 2 teams taking on other tier 2 teams like this one right here. So Vampires versus Underworld team. I'm pretty excited for this, and it appears If Only They Could Talk is going to choose to kick off to the Vampire team. Let's go ahead and pause it up as we take a quick look at both of these guys' skills, as we see the Nuffle Altar in play, and that's kind of the reason why we're going to see lots of star players. Nabla! Oh, looks like we did call it, and he answered, and he will be in today's match, as well as the Bombardier, the Dribble Snot. He's going to be in here to wreak some real havoc against the Vampire team. So let's see what we're going to have. We're going to have the Warpstone Troll. Gonna have, of course, the Claw and also the block ability with that guard. So pretty nicely built Troll right there in the front line, as well as having this Skaven Thrower. It's gonna have the extra arms mutation with the 2 heads and the accurate with the block, as well as having this Goblin +1 in strength. Oh, actually, is that the Goblin right there? No, that's the Skaven lineman there. I don't know why I said the Goblin there. The Goblins are all sitting on the sideline. The Underworld team, the Skaven lineman, does have the +1 in strength and block ability, and then the Skaven blitzer here with the block and also the tackle ability here, and then more Skaven linemen here with that blodge ability, and then of course if you can get the Skaven blitzer with that mighty blow and claw, you definitely do it, and that's the lethal combination that could mean the difference in today's match. And also another Skaven thrower right there with the sure hands, the pass ability, and of course the Goblins here. Let's see what they have here. He's got the 2 heads with the catch ability for that Goblin right there, and then we're gonna have a more 2 heads for the Goblin right there, and then the rest just gonna be average run-of-the-mill ones here. So nice thing about grabbing that 2 heads for the Goblins with that stunty will mean that 2+ dodges through all the attack zones. So watch out for the Goblins here, because they can really penetrate the defenses and get to that ball carrier and really just mess up the faces of anyone who might be wielding that ball. So the Underworld team nicely leveled up there, and that's the danger here. And this is the reason why the Underworld team, you cannot underestimate them. With the mutations access, they really become quite a threatening team. Vampires are definitely going to need to make sure that they don't go Bloodlust though, but he does have Thralls there, nicely leveled up on their own. This one will kick with the wrestle, this one fend, wrestle, and the tackle ability, block and fend here. And then the Vampires, definitely the staple of the Vampire team. Hey, Vampires, but Vampires does have Pro with that blodge ability, and then does have the piling on, mighty blow, tackle, with that block ability for that vampire here, and then more blodge for that vampire, and then the +1 in agility, +2 in movement allowance. Holy moly, that's 8 movement allowance Toto for that vampire with that blodge ability. So this guy right there, you talk about moving the ball, that's it right here. 30 player thrall right there, and then a bunch of thralls should actually fill up on thralls for the rest of the lineup here. Is going with the 4 vampires set up for the vampire team. I like that. One of them with pro, and I like it's a pretty conservative vampire team. I like it right there. I mean, you're not going to see too many bloodlusts right there, and quite honestly, lots of thralls should mean that this vampire team will be quite threatening and could do something quite crazy with the ball. So vampire team now is going to receive the ball after the Warpstone Tro is going to use his hand to use the kickoff, but both teams are appearing to get the reroll, and that'll really help out the vampire team with all those extra little bloodlusts. And we are underway. Sifernero, just a nibble. Let's see what he's got for us in the hat today. That vampire is quite awesome. The way I like to get the vampire team, very conservatively so, is I start off with 2 vampires, and then I try to get pro for those guys after getting the appropriate skills, and then once I get pro, then I get an extra vampire. So that's kind of the way I like to go for my vampires. So for every 1 vampire that I have another vampire with the pro, so that they can reroll those bloodlusts if possible, because one of the biggest things that kind of kills you for the vampire team is rolling just 1 too many bloodlusts at the most inopportune time, and then after that you have to just bite your thralls, and that's not always the best thing to happen. Robert Dribblesnot gonna get the KO straight away, and that's gonna be too bad right there. I see on the inducements Elyod with the Underworld team. No extra bribes on his side of things, and won't actually be able to use the bomber now, so that's going to be too bad. He's going to be out with the secret weapon and not even going to be able to throw 1 single bomb. That's going to be too bad. But still has the Nabla, and we're going to see some chainsaw action, guys. This is definitely going to be a good matchup for the vampire team here, and a nice little test. Whole bunch of goblins on the sideline, so we're just going to see a couple of goblins here with the 2 heads on the pitch. This one would wrestle even, so I kind of missed that right there. Those Underworld team hanging out on that Warpstone just a little bit too much, getting the mutations, but worth it. Nabla, not going to waste any time. Going to get the blitz off and get the chainsaw action going, and going to get the stun on the vampire. I do believe we're going to probably see some fouls done by the goblins, but unfortunately going to miss that dodge away, and that'll end all action here. Boy, vampire living the dream here. Almost got fouled, I think. I don't know if it would have fouled with the goblin here, but I think I would have. I think I would have, especially when you have that many goblins on the sideline, right? There's a nice little 3-die reroll, and we'll be able to get the defender down die. He does have piling on, so here he is going to use it on Nabla, but man, Nabla holding on tough is going to just withstand all of that. Look at this, armor value breaks, a 3 and then a 2 on that. It was a really high chance that Nabla was going to go out, but not so. Nabla is just going to stand right straight back up and get more chainsaws off, and quite possibly hurt the vampire team. Pretty good stuff. And there on the left side, he's going to go blitz away. Does have the Skaven blitzer here with the claw, with the mighty blow. Just going to get a push here, but we should see a foul being committed here on that vampire with the chainsaw. There's no point in holding on to that chainsaw for as long as you possibly can, because he will go out at the end of this possessions, and the vampire team might be looking to score pretty quickly, seeing that there is going to be a chainsaw on the pitch, so it could be a thing right there. And really stupid. We're going to see the foul there. It's going to be a +2 with the chainsaw on this foul, so way better than Dirty Player. And we'll get the chainsaw off and just going to continue to be a stun, unfortunately. Luckily, though, no call for the Underworld team, so he's going to continue to have Nabla on the pitch. And we hit the blitz here, the Vampire team. Like, I like playing the Vampire team, but at the same time, I don't. Because, sure, the Vampires get the 4 strength, 4 agility Vampires to begin with, but it's just, they need so many skills to be, you end up going, ooh, you know what, I need block, and then you're like, ooh, I need dodge, and then, ooh, I need pro, and then it's like, oh, well, but now they're just a blodgy Vampire, and you know, 4 strength, 4 agility, you kind of want them to be a little bit more mean, so then you're like, okay, well, I want mighty blow, and then, oh, you know, I need, you know, all this stuff to make them, so you end up needing like 5 or 6 skills, and by then it's just way too late. So even though I like the Vampires, I just don't necessarily like building a Vampire team. That's just all I'm saying. One that blocked from the Thrall is just going to be a skull, so that will end all actions here on the Vampire team. Looks like, though, the Underworld team is going for max damage, and so is pretty much going to cede the score here to the Vampire team, and that's going to be okay by the Underworld team. Might think about trying to get in front of that Vampire, but I think at this point, really trying to make the max use of Nabla and trying to kill a Vampire if possible. If anything, make them blow the Apothecary quite early if possible. And here comes more chainsaws. And with a whole bunch of plussies, it's going to produce just a KO. So the Vampire team will take that. Definitely will love that here because, man, KO definitely could come back and wake up and be in the next bit. But could have been worse. Could have been an injury. And that's all you really need. The blitz here. And it's going to be the mighty blow. And the claw will get the defender stumbles, but no tackle, so the Blodge Vampire is going to continue to stay up. Look at that. You know what I'm tempted to do, guys? I'm tempted to just make a Vampire team and then just start naming them Batman names. Oh yeah! That's right, guys. No, I can't do that. Oh, that would be awesome, though. Just start naming them Batman. I'm Batman. No, I'm Batman. That's going to be something for you to do, Ducky. Look, that's your charge. Go get a Vampire team. Get them, you know, color them black like this. And start naming them Batman. After me, okay? That's what you do. That's what you should do. Oh, man. That'd be awesome. And then one of them will just be named, you know, VGP. And I'm not Batman. That's what I do. Oh man, Underworld team, as I said before, going for max damage. Gonna see this touchdown and gonna continue to just target the Vampire team here. And that's exactly what the Underworld team's game plan is right now on defense. Just go after the Vampire team and maybe force a score here at the end. Does have the 2 hits with the Wrestle Gabo, but not going to move him in as of yet. Let's see how he's going to move the Warpstone Troll. Just going to get a little close there. And move in, and it appears that he's going to get maybe a surround here for an attack, but I don't know how we're going to use Nabla. And the question is here, though, the Vampire team, is he going to score it to get Nabla out? So far, Nabla has been pretty much a non-factor, so I don't know if the Vampire team really wants to score it straight away like this. But we'll see. I don't know if he has an escort, though. We'll be getting the blitz off on the Goblin. 3-die block, defender down die. That's beautiful. Definitely need that. We'll be able to get the Goblin out with the extra head, and KO is the call, so I believe with that should actually just tuck the ball carrier right behind him and then be okay with this. What about Adam West? No, we can't do. Yeah, just start naming them Michael Keaton, George Clooney, Christian Bale, Val Kilmer, and Ben Affleck. That's awesome. Can you get a vote for this Batman team? Oh man, I don't know, Croxy Max. I just don't know about this. I'm speaking way ahead of what I should be speaking. Hypnotic gaze for those vampires. And that's one of the things you can't forget about this vampire team. They do all have that hypnotic gaze, so no cage is ever truly safe from that vampire stare. Nice hit. Look at the injury. Finally an injury. And we'll get the dirty player thrall out, in fact, so no need to worry about that thrall. And one of the things here, if you ever notice, if you ever play against a vampire team with just one too many vampires, then you start aiming for the thralls, and then once they start bloodlusting, then they start needing to bite something, and they can't, and they're gonna just have to go to the crowd and bite one of their necks, and then they're out. So that could be a key that Underworld team might think about doing. Surely Ben Affleck's got to be the 6th one. And here's the foul coming up. +2 on that with the chainsaw. And see if we get down this vampire to a nice injury. We'll get the armor value break, and we'll get called out on the foul. Not a big deal, but that does mean that the vampire's decision to hold the ball will be made a lot easier. So he's just going to continue to hold the ball at the top right. So the Underworld team, what they have to do at this point is just force a score on the vampire and make it to where they at least have maybe one extra turn to get a touchdown. Well, the nice thing about playing the Underworld team does have the Warpstone Troll, and he can throw the goblins for the one-move touchdown try at the end of the half. So does have a bit of a catch-up mechanism. Chainsaw wasn't even blessed. Well, there goes Nabla's effect in the game, which was pretty much a non-factor. Caused a KO, and that's about it. So really a non-factor, these star players. Bomba Dribble's not going out in the very first hit, and then Nabla pretty much a non-factor now. So star players not really making much of an impact in this game. Underworld team just gonna have to go on their own devices and try to win the match that way. Whoopstone Troll gonna move in, and I believe this should be enough to force the score. Nice hits. Look at that, using that spear. It's all rusty too. What is that, huh? Is it rusted? No, it's just got warpstone juice on it. That's what it is. Vampires do score it though. Sifernero has seen enough, and it will go up 1-0. And the Underworld team has done enough to force the score here. And with these guys going out, secret weapons are going to be going out pretty soon. 2 thralls are going to continue to stay out, and oh, look at that, the vampire with the KO is still going to continue to stay out, but with just a couple of more turns left, vampires will have yet another reroll try at that. But the Underworld team does have 2 turns now to try to get the score, so no need for a crazy throw teammate at the end. So we'll see what this Underworld team has cooked up. Does have a pair of Skaven throwers, and these Gabos, can't count them out. They do have 2 heads, and like I said before with the stunty, that means they can go through a bunch of attack zones and it'll all just be 2+ dodges. Justice League as the rest of them. Oh no, you guys don't get ahead of yourselves here. So the Underworld team has a chance to get the touchdown, and it's quite viable. Loads of catch-up mechanisms. Like I said before, throw teammate for the Warpstone Troll. He's got Skaven throwers that can really throw the ball. I think the only thing here that you could possibly say is, can he get enough receivers down the pitch to really wreak havoc in the backfield? Change of weather, and it's still going to continue to be nice. The Underworld team does have loads of rerolls here, so 4 rerolls for 2 turns. Too bad you can't just use rerolls like crazy. You only use 1 reroll per turn, but still, should be opening things up on the right side, and he does. And immediately is going to take up residence there on this right side, as well as probably moving a couple of gobos here on his left and the center, and give himself loads of opportunities to get that ball out of there. Ball is way over there on the right side, but luckily again 2 turns. Doesn't need to throw it at this moment. Nice KO on the front line. So Thrall is going to go out. Goblin's going to give a little bit of assist. 2 die block. Defender down die. And more armor value breaks, and that's great actually, because that reduces the defensive possibilities here for the Vampire team. And Underworld team's 2-turn touchdown try is starting to look really good now. Should get that picked up. Does have the extra arms pick up, so just the 2+ on that, and we'll be able to get it there. So with this Troll, another armor value break, big time here. And we should see the Goblin go up the center now and just make it to where, yeah, I'm an extra receiver, guys. And not only that, a little bit of a screen for the Skaven Blitzer, who quite possibly should be the one catching the ball. Don't forget, guys, they do have the animosity on the Goblins here. So let's see here. Actually, where's the animosity? Actually, the animosity here. Oh, actually, it's on the Skaven dudes here. So don't want to get it from the Goblins here. And oh, actually, the Vampire with all kinds of movement allowance is gonna go in the backfield, and we'll get the blitz off. Look at that. We'll take down the Skaven thrower, and we'll be able to get the ball picked up for his troubles as well. So nice little maneuver here from the Vampire with all kinds of pluses in movement allowance. And we'll get to that ball. So the Skaven team, not Skaven team, but the Underworld team is going to have to move the Skaven to the backfield, get that blitz off, and try to get that ball out of the hands of this Vampire. Not going to be an easy task because he does have blood, so only a defender down die, but luckily lots of Skaven linemen here. Needs the defender down die, needs to re-roll that, and just going to be a defender stumbles, and so no touchdown try. Look at that. The Vampires is going to stop it. Holy crap. Vampire, all kinds of movement allowance, dodges through the small opening given by the Goblin front line and was able to get that blitz here. And I guess good thing for the Underworld team, but that does mean that the Vampire team, their possibilities of even going potato, I mean, it's quite good. And not going to be able to get the last hit off from the Warpstone Troll, and we're going to go into the half 1-0 as Sifernero flexes the muscle of his +2 movement allowance, +1 in agility. Vampire and gets to the backfield and stoppers things completely up for the Underworld team, who had a real good shot at getting a 2-move touchdown, because man, that Skaven Blitzer was absolutely in range after the little easy pitch and catch from the Skaven thrower. I mean, hell, they even got a reroll, had a whole bunch of rerolls even, so really kind of lucky that the +2 in movement allowance did not fail any of that stuff. So far so good. Vampires though haven't really bloodlusted whatsoever, and I don't even think we've seen one bite from any of the Vampires, so pretty good stuff. That's pretty much the dream first half if you're playing the Vampire team, but pretty sure that there's going to be a bunch more ones coming up on the dice roll, and we're going to see some more Vampires, well, biting some more necks pretty soon. Vampires though, just a nibble. We'll get a extra reroll, and that is really great for the Vampire team. Now he's up to 4 again, so that's pretty good stuff. Underworld team just with the 3, and they're gonna play some offense now. Underworld team, once you get them going with those mutations, they're so good, so strong. I mean, I really like the Underworld team. I think they are definitely my third favorite team to play. During the beta, I played the Underworld team in the little beta tournament that we had, and I did okay with them, you know. But unfortunately, though, we were doing Resurrection, so I couldn't get couldn't get my guys leveled up like I wanted. Boo. Resurrection tournament. But here we go, guys. Look at that. Ball security, guys. Gonna put the goblin marking that ball and then pick it up right afterwards, even if there is no real danger to the ball, but still, you never know. Steven thrower. All on the front line. Goblins going right, going left, going upside down. Finally gonna pick a spot. I think no matter what, they're all bad spots for you. You're gonna probably get blitzed, little guy. Oh, the first turn there was a bite that caused a casualty. Well. Yeah, that's true, huh? Did I miss that bite? I must have missed that bite. Well, still, I mean, I have to say though, I mean, throughout the game, vampires, not too many bloodlusts, and if you don't bloodlust, you have a real advantage during the game. Oh, there's a bloodlust, guys. Hey, I was talking about it so much it had to happen, right? Got him. And bloodlust, even though he's stunned, he got up. But don't worry about that, guys. That's not a bug. He's just going to go straight back down. And injury is just going to be a 6, so it's just going to continue to be a stun on that bloodlust vampire. And no worse for wear. Going to continue to have that thrall in the next bit. You love the Underworld team, it's a bipolar team. It could be ecstasy inducing or a rage quit team. Isn't that true for any team though, when you think about it? That's true. That's true in any team, I think. It's just all a matter of interesting teams to build, and Underworld team is definitely one of those interesting build teams. And I think that's where I have the most fun, right? I think that's why I like playing like the Dark Elf team, because you get into some interesting builds with the different types of positionals that they can have. And then the Skaven's my second favorite team, and they too can get some pretty interesting positionals. And they have the access to the mutations on the doubles, so it's really cool to watch how they can develop after a while. And I think that's why I really like Blood Bowl the most, and the biggest reason why I played is the interesting builds that you can get. I suppose that's why I never really gravitated towards some of the other teams, because some of their stuff is just already kind of written out. There's just the meta to their build, and there's just no real other way to kind of build them, such as like the dwarven teams, chaos dwarf teams, stuff like that. I mean, like, first skill you get guard, second skill you get, you know, mighty blow or claw if you're the, you know, chaos dwarf. Well, you get claw, it's first moment you can get, but it's just one of those things where some of these races pretty much have a meta, and if you don't follow it, then just mud on your face. But still, that's why I really like this Underworld team here. And of course, they do have their meta builds, but it's just, you know, after you get past, you know, the one or two skills that you kind of have to get, then you almost have a free hand. Oh, and the vampire with the +2 movement allowance and the +1 agility is gonna sneak by and threaten the backfield of the Underworld team. So have to watch out for this vampire here. And they're gonna just get the blitz here on this vampire. Clear things out in the center. Should be opening things up, and then maybe sitting down here for the cage. And that appears to be what the Underworld team is going to do after all. And I'm not sure what this is all about right here, but it looks like, I think it's gonna be a handoff or a throw or something. There we go. And the handoff is not going to be good to the +1 in strength with the block Skaven lineman, and going to use the reroll right there. So luckily though, doesn't drop it, and it's going to continue to hold on to that ball. And ooh, death injury on the misdodge. Ouch. And That's always the danger of playing with goblins. You play with goblins, they could die on those crazy dodge rolls. Yep, indeed, it does require loads of patience and incompetence. Underworld team. Now, let's see. Vampires, this is the danger right here. You get your cage up in the center, and then now vampires, they could start using Hypnotic Gaze to get into the cage there, but I think with +1 agility, might actually just jump in there. Oh, and he does do it on the 4+ dodge, and he gets 6s. And the defender down die. The vampire team looking pretty good. We'll be able to lay the smackdown on the +1 in strength ball carry, and the ball flies way out. And oh man, it's more Stone Troll. Oh, finally lands in a great spot for the Underworld team. Could not have come out any better, I think. Maybe less the Warpstone Troll ends up with it or something, but in the end, I'm gonna breathe a moment of relief there, because that could have went extraordinarily bad for the Underworld team, and now the vampire is gonna be sticking his neck out, but with no tackle, just gonna be dodging away from the Warpstone Troll hit, and gonna continue to be on the ball as well. And both of these throwers are actually tied up for the moment, so I don't even think he'll have the sure hands pickup on this ball coming up. And the ball is going to be in a very tough spot here. Right side's open, so if he can get that ball, he can move to the right side and get out of danger. Finally, defender down die. Going to get him down. It is going to be the Skaven Blitzer coming up in spades, and will get him down and move up. And get the sure hands. Finally going to get the pickup. He does have 2 hits, so we'll continue to dodge away. Just 2+ dodges, and we'll be able to get that ball up on the right side, as I said. Look at that, guys. It's almost like I play a little bit Blood Bowl, hey? And we'll be able to tuck the ball away a little bit safely here, as long as he can get down that thrall, and he does. Does get the wrestle on him, and that would be good enough. Might still see a blitz here on that Skaven thrower, it looks like, and could actually dodge away, and then after that, get over here for the 2-die block. It's gonna get skulled here, so gonna re-roll that defender down die. Once again, the ball falls out, and which way is it gonna go? The vampire, oh, get Butterfingers it up, and again, the Underworld team living a bit of a charmed life. Gonna again scatter in a great spot for the Underworld team. Blitz has already been used, so he can't just push that ball, push somebody into the ball, so the vampire team's gonna have to just surround it up a little bit here. Gonna get the throw over the top along with the vampire. Hypnotic Gaze is gonna fail. Oh man, that right there was just the clutch moment right there. Had he had gotten that Hypnotic Gaze, then quite possibly could have been a vampire invading the space. I don't know, but does get the Hypnotic Gaze off, and the reason why he got the Hypnotic Gaze is so that he forces the movement, or at least touch him up here. We can just activate him here, standing at the same spot. So it's just one of those things where perhaps you're hoping that the other guy forgets to activate him for the next bit. But he does activate him, and continues to get on the ball. We should see a blitz on somebody to get on the ball here. Just gonna get a push, gonna clear it out a little bit. But with the extra arm pickup, should be a 3+ pickup with sure hands after this 2-die block. Ooh, great stuff here. Gets the defender down die, and also with the uppercut gets the armor value break, and will be able to clear that ball. It's just gonna be a 2+, and the 2+ dodge is actually a miss right there, so gonna have to re-roll that. Does get it, and successfully picks it back up. Gonna dodge right back again into the safe little bit of haven here on the center of the pitch, but is it really safe when you're talking about a vampire team with Hypnotic Gaze? Not really, but still, it's as safe as you can get, I guess. Warpstone Troll clear things out, and the Underworld team fighting for his life at this moment. Gonna get this cage up, and gonna try to get through again. Dodge away, gonna miss that dodge. Use the re-roll here. And not going to get another one on that dodge. And we'll be able to move over. Oh, Hypnotic Gaze failed on the Warpstone Troll. That was the moment right there. That would have absolutely been a 2-eye blitz coming up had the Hypnotic Gaze worked. But it's not over yet, though. Oh, Bloodlust on there. And that right there is a killer. Here's the Hypnotic Gaze coming up. And actually, he's going to fail it on even the Pro reroll. And going to have to bite the neck there on the Thrall sitting down. You love the Underworld's Gabbo's Dragon Punch when they break armor. It's pretty sweet looking. Does cause the casualty. And here's another Bloodlust by another vampire. And gonna just end up blitzing the Warpstone Troll after resisting a whole bunch of Hypnotic Gazes. Man, that was some clutch moves. And actually trying to move away and Bloodlust. And will not be able to get to a Thrall, and he's gonna go off to the crowd and bite the neck of some hapless human out there. So one vampire away due to the missed GFI not being able to bite the neck of the Thrall. So right there, ooh, and Vlad is gonna go down to the injury, and that's gonna be a mighty blow with the piling on. And the regeneration is going to work out well for the vampire team. But that's one less vampire. Underworld team is sprung, to say the least. They are sprung. What a sad turn indeed for the vampire team. But a happy day for the Underworld team. Look at that. And that is why right there, Underworld teams. You just need to play tenaciously, and finally it's going to get a bit paid off here. Should find something, but +2 in movement allowance, +1 in agility. So the Warpstone Troll's not going to waste any time. He's just going to go get the blitz here on that vampire, but unfortunately just going to get a push here. One die block, just going to get a push. He's going to need to get a friend on that Troll one day, but I guess the Gabbos could just come back and help him out a little bit later on. Should see a blitz here, and gonna blitz down the Gabbo. So no crazy dive-in plays by the vampire is gonna be tried in the next bit. But I don't know if the vampire team can afford any more bloodlust here. Hypnotic Gaze. And I actually did get the part of the cage here, but unfortunately Hypnotic Gaze won't. Actually, he's going to dodge in there, and Hypnotic Gaze does not work on the ball carrier. And wow, somehow got the Hypnotic Gaze off against the 2 tackle zones right there. But even if you Hypnotic Gaze the ball carrier, then the ball carrier still continues to hold on to the ball. So that's one thing that the vampire team cannot do to the ball carrier is Hypnotic Gaze the actual ball carrier, because that doesn't do anything. That just makes him drop the tackle zones, not the ball. Learned that the hard way, guys. And now with 2 more turns left, Underworld Skaven Thrower. Looks like he's just gonna put some distance between him and the rest of the team. And I'm gonna actually miss that dodge right there. So vampires might actually have a shot here. I guess you always have a shot when you're talking about the +2 in movement allowance, +1 agility. You can actually go around the side there and it's still just 2+ dodges all the way around. So here we go. Oh, gonna be a bloodlust. So even if he gets that ball out, he's gonna fly away. And it's all just 2+ dodges, and he will get the defender down die. But unfortunately, even if it comes okay here, it's gonna stun the ball carrier. That's all right. Bloodlust, and he's gonna fly away, and that is really too bad. Had he not bloodlusted, he would have absolutely been able to tie up the Skaven lineman, make it a 3+ dodge into a 3+ pickup, and now all he needs to do is do a 3+ pickup with a reroll. Yes, he gets it, and he will be able to get the touchdown. After all, Underworld team will not be denied. 1-1. And it looks like we are going into another overtime period. What a great game so far. Vampires and the Underworld team. Like I said right there, once the Bloodlust really started coming in, like crazy for the vampire team. It's just so difficult to win. And right there was just a horrible turn for the vampire team in the last bit, but we'll be able to get his vampires back in. Unfortunately, not going to have half of his thralls, though. 4 of the thralls going to be out with an injury. One of them going to continue to stay out with the KO. And so that means, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thralls amongst 4 vampires. And this is where it gets very much more difficult for the vampire team. If the longer the game goes, then the more chances for bloodlust and the less thralls on the pitch. And that means that you simply start losing the game because vampires are just going to fly off the field one by one due to the bloodlust. We'll see though. We'll see the super vampire. He's got 8 movement allowance, and so with this, the Underworld team is actually lining up pretty nicely here to try to stop her up. The 1-move touchdown try coming up. And the ball is going to move over to the right side. Throw rock and going to injure. Ouch. Going to injure the Skaven lineman. Apothecary is going to be used right there. And oh, luckily it does get him back. So nice Apothecary usage here. Turn 16. We'll see how he's going to drop this guy right into the zone here for the 1-move touchdown try, but unfortunately defender stumbles and that'll end all hope. And piling on, mighty blow, why not? It is a dangerous Skaven blitzer after all, and it's going to produce a KO. And after the nice little hit on the Warpstone Troll, overtime period's coming up, guys. And like I said, I don't know who wins this game, nor do I know who is going to. So I just don't know. I really tried hard not to look at the score starting up this match. And so I didn't see the score, and so I'm still hoping that this Underworld team will win it because I did pick them to win. And we'll get the vanity pass, and it will go into overtime. And at this point, it's just all up to the coin toss here. Who is going to win the coin toss? That's the question, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out for that. You think the piling on animation for the vampire should be the same as the biting animation? Yeah, I know, right? Well, the vampires are selective biters, right? They only bite, thrall or human necks, right? They don't like biting troll necks. And it appears that if only they could talk, will choose to receive the ball, and the Underworld team has a real good shot at taking the W and advancing on. This is their time to shine. And the vampire team, again, the Thrall with the KO, still going to continue to stay out. And with that, 9 players on the pitch here for the vampire. 4 vampires, 5 Thralls. That's not a good number right there. And the Underworld team has to like their chances at this point. Here comes the kick. Brilliant coaching. So Justin Nibble is going to get a precious reroll out of it. Very precious indeed. He had none left as well. So luckily on that kickoff, going to get an extra reroll. And so at least he won't have to worry too much about any bloodlusting. But man, you don't want to use that reroll on the bloodlust if you can help it. And it's going to start off strong on his right side. Going to get down this vampire. And going to stun him. So Underworld team might actually think about scoring this pretty quickly, end all things. But at the same time, Underworld team, if they do just take their time, it really benefits them as well. Because the more time on the clock that's going to be used, then the more times that a bloodlust could possibly come out. And at this point, I think it's going to be all up to this +2 in movement allowance with the +1 in agility vampire. What can he do? That's going to be the real question. Warpstone Troll going to start off big, going to get the 3-die block. And if anything, Underworld team also benefits for any down thralls or any injuries as well. So every little bit just stacking up against the vampires. There's the movement here. Gonna get that pickup roll on that 2+ with the extra arms pickup. And gonna hang back for the time being. So, oh, Bloodlust right then and there. Not gonna use his last reroll on it. Gonna go ahead, move up, and try to get the Hypnotic Gaze, but doesn't get it. And the Bloodlust is gonna come out. And if this causes a casualty, that's one less Thrall on the pitch. He needs to hope for a stun. Can't afford a KO. Oh, finally. Oh, he just gets a stun. Another Bloodlust on the left side. And he's gonna dodge through, so he's leaving the vampire out to dry, but he's gonna miss the dodge rolls. And and actually gonna break armor. So the Bloodlust is not activating on it. So hey, that worked out, I guess. That worked out. Oh man, the armor value break broke him out of the Bloodlust. Is that a bug? I don't even know. Somebody who knows the rules better than me on the Bloodlust. But man, the armor value break actually saves that vampire from bloodlusting, and so he's gonna continue to have him, but he's stunned for the time being, and the ball is going way past him. And quite honestly, just needs to hit this guy right there. And he does. Defender down die. Skaven Blitzer. Gonna get the armor value break on top of it. Gonna get another stun on another vampire. So with this, only one vampire left to really worry about. Is it enough? Just gonna get a push here, but that's okay. Oh, he re-rolled it? Okay. Okay, he did re-roll it. Oh, there it goes. Oh, I missed it. Hey, well, he did re-roll the Bloodlust. Oh man, that's what I was saying. Hey, wait, the armor value break shouldn't have gotten him out of the Bloodlust. Oh man. Well, the Underworld team just needs to avoid one blitz. And the one blitz only, and there you go, GFI failed. And I don't know if you want to do the go-for-it rolls for this touchdown, but I don't think you even need to. All the vampires are going to continue to stay down, so just need to put up a nice little screen here, and it should be okay. Look at that, the Underworld team is just going to be dancing all the way through to the touchdown area. How close can you get? Look at that. It all just came down to the flip of the coin, and the vampire team just bloodlusting one too many times at the end of the game. And that's it right there. Vampires. That's why they continue to not really do extremely well. I mean, there's lots of times where you could say that Nuffle really had gotten you, and right there, Nuffle just had given way too many ones on too many bloodlust rolls, and in the end just could not keep up with them. Still good play by both sides. You're right about that, Croxy Max. Underworld team just needs to avoid, you know, misclicking, you know, end turn or something like that. Misclicking, you know, quit game in the middle of this somehow. But at this point, the vampires have seen enough. We'll just blitz down the Warpstone Troll. It looks like he will do the obligatory last bit of damage if he could possibly manage it. But on value 9 of the Warpstone Troll is going to hold true against the Mighty Blow action of the vampires. And here comes the boot on the Warpstone Troll. And will be not breaking armor, and that is it. Underworld team is the winner, and the pick is good. Elyod moves on. If only they could talk. Well, if they could say anything, they'd be going, "Yay, we won!" But yes, in the end, the quick recap right here, it is going to be those dice rolls for just the nibble. Just so many bloodlusts at the end. Only actually failed 13 of them. But 75% on those bloodlusts. I mean, 25% failure rate. Just could not keep up there at the end. And in the end, and honestly, the hypnotic gaze did not work out very well for the vampire team as well. So I mean, when you think about it, some of these rolls that came out just didn't come out quite good enough. It was about even right here, but 51 ones, 53 sixes. You kind of would rather it being more in the middle and not just on the high or the low end right there. And that's the thing here. Alright, let's check out the brackets. Alright guys, we could continue on the Champions Cup coverage right here as the Underworld team continues to move on 2-1 and will face off against the winner between the Mummies and the Wood Elves team. We're gonna just skip over that game right now. I don't think I could do all the games, but we are gonna go ahead and just look and play Jimmy's game, Ogres versus the Orc team, guys. So hold on tight for that. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a drink real quick. And those of you out there who like what you see, definitely hit that follow button. More Champions Cup coverage right here on my channel, as well as other strategy and roleplay games as well. You can check me out for all that other action. But for right now, just excuse me for just a minute as I'll be right back.